Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 713 Houston Sports. It's Mr. 713. Now, when you think about MVP for this season for the NFL, you're going to think of Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, maybe even throw Big Ben out there. But the question is should Deshaun Watson be in those talks? Now, your first initial thoughts is going to be no, we're not on a winning team. But if you look at the way he has played, the conversation has to be held is should Deshaun Watson be considered in MVP talks? We're going to discuss it next. Let's cue the intro. Now, now you may all think, oh, he's being biased. You know, it's his quarterback, it's his favorite team. Of course, he's going to think Deshaun Watson should be considered an MVP candidate. But if you really ask me, and if you really say, Ruben, who do you think is going to be the MVP? I'm going to say Deshaun Watson. And here's why I say that. The things that this man has overcome this season is just by far absolutely nuts. You lose a great wide receiver in DeAndre Hopkins, and in return, you get a washed up running back in David Johnson. Now, that right there already puts you in a position because you lose somebody who you threw to over 100 and something times last year. Now you have to rely on a Will Fuller who hasn't been healthy the past couple seasons, even since his rookie season. Brandon Cooks, who had his worst season since he was a rookie that you traded a second round for, an overpaid Randall Cobb, who you gave $30 million for, and Kenny Stills, who you think is gonna be, a valuable piece of this offense. So not only had to go through all that, he then has to go through Bill O'Brien. Now, the first 4 weeks, this Houston Texans team looked like absolute horrible. Deshaun Watson himself looked like garbage. I said it myself. At what point do we need to start looking at number 4 and saying, bro, like, what's going on? You just get paid, and now you're being those, and now you're just not playing good. So once you go 0-4, Bill O'Brien is gone. And now the question was, is Deshaun Watson going to get better? Is this team going to get better? Is this offense going to get better? And the question is yes. Since the firing of Bill O'Brien, Deshaun Watson is on pace to throw for more yards than he ever had, more touchdowns than he's ever had, and less interception than he has ever had. And that is not because of Bill O'Brien. It's because Deshaun Watson was now able to be free, able to play the way he wants to play, not the system that Bill O'Brien wanted him to become. Because Bill O'Brien wanted Deshaun Watson to become Tom Brady. I think that has been abundantly clear that was the goal of Bill O'Brien. But now he gets to be Deshaun Watson, and he's playing fantastic. He is in charge. He is not only in charge, but he is responsible for 80% of the Houston Texans offense. Do you know how nuts that is to not only be, a leading passer for your team? Of course, he's going to be the leading passer, but to be the leading rusher for your team as well. And keep in mind, Deshaun Watson doesn't get a lot of design runs called for him. It's about him escaping with the suspect offensive line, and yet he still leads the team in rushing for the Houston Texans. He is doing it all, and that's why you have to have the conversation about him being the MVP. And it only boosted the conversation more this Sunday against the Colts. When you have no Fuller because he got suspended, Kenny Stills was released, Randall Cobb is on IR, you're thinking, well, it's going to be Brandon Cooks, Kiki Kuti, and who else? That other wide receiver was Chad Hansen. And Kiki Kuti had 160 yards. Chad Hansen had 100 yards. Brandon Cooks had 80 yards. And that's not because all those wide receivers are great. It's because Deshaun Watson is a magician. On Sunday, he literally put the team on his back and was about to score the go-ahead touchdown. And Nick Martin screws it up. Now, after the loss, you see him on the bench crying. He was crying. Like, let's get that right. He was crying, and it really had me think. he's had to deal with so much stuff this season that other QBs couldn't fathom. How is he not in the MVP consideration? Because he is up there in yards. He's the middle pack of touchdowns. He is way down there in interceptions. And he's the most valuable player for the Houston Texans. Because if Deshaun Watson is on the team, he's an MVP candidate. This reminds me of the J.J. Watt season when he had a receiving touchdowns, pick six against the Bills, fumble return touchdown against the Colts. And we're like, how is that not MVP level? How is he not going to be the MVP? And Aaron Rodgers won it. I think this is a similar situation, but Deshaun Watson is not going to be talked about about MVP because his team's doing so bad, and that's why I hate the way the MVP has come. Is it's a popularity contest. Of course, your team's going to have to be great, but that doesn't mean you're the most valuable player. If you're asking me, it's Deshaun Watson, and not only is this season going to get we're gonna keep on trying to play it. Of course, we're trying to get wings, but the way this season has played out, it is only gonna make Deshaun Watson better. I talked about this with one of my subscribers last night. He flew in from Miami. Shout out to Elson. He says this season is gonna really battle test Deshaun Watson, and I have to agree. That's what's gonna happen. Because Deshaun Watson is gonna never go through this again in his career. I mean, we pray to God it doesn't. How can he not? He's already getting better every single week. He's only going to get better after this season. Now, he's not going to be the MVP this year, but he's damn near should be it next year. But that's what I think. So once again, if you ask me, Ruben, who is the MVP of the league? I'm going to tell you, it's Deshaun Watson.